Ira Aldridge. On July 27, 1807, Ira Frederick Aldridge was born in New York City, New York, to parents Reverend Daniel and Luranah Aldridge. Reverend Daniel Aldridge preached at the African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church and also worked as a vendor on the streets of New York. There isn't much information about Luranah Aldridge, but we do know she and her husband raised their family during New York's Jim Crow era. At the age of 13, Aldridge began his studies at the African Free School, a school founded for the children of slaves and free blacks. While attending the African Free School, Aldridge studied grammar, writing, mathematics, geography, astronomy, and theater. He developed a love for theater and would satisfy his desire to attend plays by watching as many plays as he could from the balcony of New York's Park Theater, as well as attending plays at the African Grove Theater. Aldridge's experiences as a student at the African Free School afforded him the opportunity to receive a quality education, be exposed to the arts, and become classmates with men such as Charles L. Reason, George T. Dowling, and Henry H. Garnett. In 1821, the African Grove Theater created a group called the African Company, which included Ira Aldridge. This was his first professional acting experience. William Henry Brown and James Hewlett were the co-founders of the African Grove Theater. They gave Aldridge and many other black actors a platform to showcase their talents. As an actor at the African Grove Theater, Aldridge earned roles in a number of plays, sharpening his skills for a future even he was unaware of. The African Grove Theater was under attack by white citizens of New York, white gangs, the police, and their main opponent was the newspaper editor and sheriff named Mordecai Manuel Noah. They harassed the actors and the owner of the theater constantly. They even engaged in street fights to defend themselves and the theater. Despite the harassment, Aldridge was able to debut as a starring actor in the play Pizarro, written by Richard Brinsley Sheridan. He also earned other lead roles, and his star was starting to shine. The African Grove Theater didn't exist long because of the constant harassment they experienced. The harassment and the fights also led to the decision of Aldridge to travel to Europe to continue his acting career. In 1824, Aldridge arrived in Liverpool, England. Traveling along with him were actors known as the Wallach brothers. Aldridge made his professional acting debut in England in May of 1825 at the age of 17, playing Othello. His next debut was at the Royal Coburg Theatre in London. This debut was seen to be the debut that helped Aldridge become a popular actor in London. He then earned the lead role in the play The Revolt of Suriname, where he played the lead role of Orunoko. One of Aldridge's challenges was breaking the idea of what African theater was, because of the actions of a so-called comedian named Charles Matthews. Matthews introduced white audiences to African theater by exposing them to a minstrel performance, which caused the audience to believe what they saw was authentic theater performed by African people. Aldridge was such a skilled actor that even though the white audiences attended the play expecting a minstrel show, they left with respect for Aldridge, his acting skills, and black actors. His performances of Othello would leave audiences entranced by how moving and authentic his performance was. At the end of his performances, Aldridge would speak to the audience about a number of social and cultural issues that negatively affected African American and African people globally. As an abolitionist, Aldridge used his platform to bring attention to the plight of his people, and his messages were well received. He began touring Europe in 1828, making his first stop in the city of Coventry, where his acting skills were praised so much that he was made manager of the Coventry Theatre and became the first manager of the theater to be a black person from America. Aldridge used his platform at the Coventry to speak out against slavery. His speeches were so electrifying and poignant that the people of London who supported him petitioned the British Parliament to abolish slavery in the British Kingdom. Around 1831, Aldridge traveled to Dublin, Ireland, Bath, England, and Edinburgh, Scotland, leaving behind captivated audiences who sang his praise. The popularity helped him land roles in plays in the city of Exmouth, England, before traveling to Brussels, Belgium, to begin traveling throughout Europe, where his performances were praised. He presented to the Duchess of Saxe-Coburg-Gotha and performed for King William IV of Prussia. His successful performances led to him performing in Budapest, Serbia, and Russia. In 1824, Aldridge met and married a woman named Margaret Gill, who he was married to for 40 years. Aldridge produced a son from a relationship outside of his marriage, which led to him being sued by the actor William Stouthard. 1864 was the year of Margaret Gill's death. In 1865, Aldridge married a woman named Amanda von Brandt. The couple produced 4 children and lived between Russia and Europe. Aldridge was known for traveling to England often. In 1867, Ira Aldridge died while visiting Poland after recently completing a 70-city tour of France. The Polish sculptor Marian Koniński created a plaque to mark the place of Aldridge's death. Because of his amazing skill in social activism, Aldridge received several honors and awards, such as the Prussian Gold Medal for Arts and Science, the Gold Cross of Leopold, the Maltese Cross, the Bronze Plaque of Shakespeare Memorial Theater, and many, many more. The Howard University Department of Theater Arts is named after Aldridge. He was named one of the 100 greatest African Americans by Molefi Asante. Several acting troupes popped up over the U.S. that included Aldridge's name within their titles. The most popular were in Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, and Connecticut. Ira Aldridge was a force to be reckoned with. He not only displayed to the world his phenomenal acting abilities, but he directly challenged negative stereotypes of African people, changed the way some Europeans viewed African people, publicly opposed slavery, and set the standard for actors who would play the character of Othello. Mr. Ira Aldridge, we proudly stand on your shoulders. For more information, please visit my website at www.ontheshoulders1.com. My website is also where you can get your copy of the 3 volumes of my On the Shoulders of Giants book series. And you can also support me on Patreon at patreon.com/OTSOG. Oh yeah, make sure you click this video that's pop up right here, this next video at this end screen. Check that video out too, because it's hard too. So, all right, y'all.